So, good morning or good night, depending on where you are in the world, and welcome to another album review of The Shield Dude on a Couch. I'm your host Hector, and today I'm gonna talk about the brand new album by the band Within the Ruins, and it's called Phenomena 2. And this is a follow-up to Phenomena 1 from 2014, which is the band's most popular album. So, how do you follow one of your albums that was very popular? Well, you do it and you do a part two. And part one, all the songs were based on the point of views of like superheroes or comic book characters. And on Phenomena Part 2, they do a part two, and it is the same concept. Like in the themes and the music, there's some differentiation from those albums, but does it deliver? Because when you have a part one that is very successful, you ask yourself, will part two be as successful or better? Well, I can say I enjoyed part one a lot, but I think this album really kicks ass. It's for those of you that don't know, Within the Ruins they're known as a progressive deathcore band. Like when I listen to this band, I used to confuse them in the past sometimes with Born of Osiris, because both bands do that, like very like technical, like guitars, very modern sounding type of metal, and both do it good. But I think Within the Ruins has slightly a better discography, no duds in their catalog, and this Phenomena Part 2 really is an album that, even though the songs are the 11 songs, but out of those 11 songs, there's 3 songs that are actually instrumentals. So the other 8 tracks, which are based on comic book characters, the way that the singer wrote the lyrics is it's like through the eyes of the character. So you're seeing what the character is seeing. So the question I ask, do you have to be a huge comic book nerd to enjoy this album? Not necessarily, because I think they're more like loosely based or influenced and inspired by them. But you could interpret them in different ways and not just having to be like a fan of the comic book. So since I got the promo early, I got like the meanings of all the tracks, even though there was a few that right off the bat I could tell. Like, for example, one of the lead singles is Castle in the Sky. And for those of you the Punisher fans, you know that Castle is the last name of Frank Castle, aka the Punisher. So Castle in the Sky is all about the meaning of looking through the eyes of Frank Castle. He's lost all his family, and he wants to do everything in his power to revenge and avenge them and go with them to the sky. So that's what basically that track was all about. So I could tell right away that was from that character. There's some that I had to look the meaning because I wasn't so sure of which like comic book character it was influenced on. But one that I knew right off the bat, and it's the second track on the record, is Daywalker. Blade, anyone? Yes. The first, I'm gonna say it right here, Blade was the first MCU movie, and it's R. So Daywalker, obviously, if you watch Blade, you know that he's the Daywalker because he's half vampire and half human. So this song is the story of someone stuck between two worlds. They both reject him, seeking revenge on the ones who played a role in his mother's death. Of course, Blade. He walks a lonely path with or without anyone's help along the way. Well, where's Whistler, man? He helps Blade. So that one is about him, and musically, that one has more of similarity to Phenomena Part 1. So when I interviewed Joe Kochi from the band, we talked about this, and they said that they didn't plan on doing a Phenomena Part 2, but when they were writing these songs, it just made sense, and it was the 10th anniversary of the first album. So it's not like they planned it right away, but this song was the one that made them think like, yeah, let's do a part 2. So then you have other tracks like Demon Killer, Eater of Worlds. So Eater of Worlds, really, I think it's about a Marvel character, that its worlds. It can be one or two characters because there's a few characters that do that. Musically, all these tracks have like very like fast-paced guitar, sometimes clean sounding. They do like a lot of effects with the guitars. The drumming is pretty fast as well, and everything sounds modern. It's also very important to say that Joe Koshi, the guitar player, produced this record. So they produce their own albums, and he knows the sound that he wants to get from the band. So it's pretty cool. Another song that I thought was good, and the story, when I read it, I'm like, yes, obviously it's the last song, which is another single. And the last song is about a planet is destroyed and Earth becomes a home for one of the only survivors of that world, Superman. So for some, he's an alien that doesn't belong. For others, he's a savior god they've been looking for. Whether they accept him or reject him, he stays to protect the people he has adopted as his own. So the song is obviously from the point of view of that alien or Superman or super creature, or hopefully not Homelander, because he's evil. So yeah, it's pretty cool. Again, some great guitar riffing on it. They do that, those guitar riffings that do the and like very modern sounding. This band really sounds modern. There's and they something that they try to do with their sounds is they try to do something different or memorable that you listen to it and it says, yeah, that's Within the Ruins. So that song is great. Then you have the other song that ends the album that I really enjoyed before the instrumental is A World on Fire. And that one, when I'm reading what it's about, I say Daredevil, because it's for the struggle of a blind man, not only with demoralization of his city, but also with his religious convictions. Fighting both battles simultaneously, his ethics waver while everything around him burns. So that one is a pretty aggressive tune. And again, some great guitar riffing and some like fast break, like super speed breakdowns that I pick up again. So yeah, it's very entertaining. So the good thing about this album is, they have free instrumentals, and sometimes instrumentals can be boring, but on this album, the instrumentals, they're pretty well thought out and very interesting, because you have Level 12, you have Enigma 2 that closes the album, and Death Mask. And on those albums, since they don't have lyrics or anything, they really let you know how technical they are, with some great guitar solos, like fast, super tight drumming, like a lot of changes in like tempo on all of those tracks. And they make them not be like throwaway tracks, because sometimes like instrumental tracks feel like they can be throwaways, but not on this record. And they let you know how technical they are. So in conclusion, Phenomena 2 does fucking deliver. This is a very modern, technical, progressive deathcore record that really delivers. The sound of the instruments are very clear, great production from the band, and super entertaining. And like I said, you don't need to be a comic book nerd to enjoy these songs. So I want to know from you, Couchers, what do you think of Within the Ruins Phenomena 2? Let me know what are your favorite tracks from this. And let me know if you're a comic book fan, should the band tackle this more like in a Phenomena 3? Comment down below. And if you haven't seen my interview with Joe Kochi, I'm going to put the link somewhere around there so you can watch that, because we talk more deep about how they made this album, more of the themes and the production that they did on it. So it's a pretty interesting interview. So watch that, and if you like the videos that I put out, do not forget to subscribe and do not forget to give me a like. That helps me with the YouTube algorithm to get to more people like yourself. So until next time, Couchers, this is Hector, the Shield Dude on a Couch, and I'll see you all right here on the couch. Thank you and good night.